Good afternoon. I'm your host, Steve Basnett, and along with my co-host, Aaron Marsden, I would like to welcome everyone on behalf of CANASA and Security Canada to our first online learning session. Sorry, our second one now. While many are stuck at home, we thought this would be a good time to deliver some product and service knowledge that will be beneficial when we're all back to work. I'd like to say a special thank you to WatchNET for their support and sponsoring this session. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Sean German, Vice President of Sales and Marketing. Throughout his almost 25 years in the security industry, Sean has worked with leading companies in the security market in many segments, starting with a large security manufacturer straight out of college and moving his way into various positions with security integrators, distributors, and now with WatchNet. Throughout his career, Sean has had the opportunity to meet with and collaborate with top professionals in their own segment, allowing him to forge strong relationships and maintain a great level of trust in providing the best solution. Now celebrating his 11th year at WatchNet, the future is looking bright, even in these uncertain times, because the technology market continues to be pushed and challenged in new ways. The future is bright. Let's shine together. Feel free to type any questions you may have for Sean during the session into the chat window, and he will respond during the Q&A portion roughly 20 minutes from now. I'll now turn the session over to Sean. Welcome, Sean. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Steve. It has been a great pleasure to do this today. Good afternoon, everybody who's here online. Well, right out of the gate, I want to thank CANASA. This is a great opportunity to do something like this, considering what's happening in our marketplace today and in the world. So a big thanks goes out to Steve and Aaron. Also, thanks to Patrick. I've been watching closely and following on LinkedIn, and he's been doing hand sanitizer deliveries. So that's been really great to see. So let's get into it. Let's talk about thermal solutions and what WatchNet's offering, especially during this pandemic. And now that we're all getting ready to head back to work here in the weeks ahead, there's no better time to look at these kind of solutions. So here's the topics we're going to cover today. So we want to talk about what solutions we have currently. We have a couple of new ones that are on the way, which arrive very shortly. What the market demands are, where they fit, practicality, and we'll get into some of the understanding of the installs for the best performance. We'll go through these topics one by one as we go through the product line, and hopefully by the end of the session you'll have a pretty good comfort as to how these products actually do work. So here's the three products we're going to talk about today. Thermal camera, our access control with temperature detection, and as well as a temperature station, a fast deploy unit. So let's talk a little bit about market demand. So right now, especially in these next couple of weeks, we're already seeing some provinces in some states in the US already coming with back to work legislation right now. So because of that, we're starting to see demand for some proactive solutions in the market to help out with reopening. What do we want to do right now? We want to really promote employee safety, and we really want to promote customer safety. So the items that we're going to show today will help do both of those things. The other side of this whole thing is integrators that have been doing security and access have been really affected by these slowdowns, and we're all trying to find new ways and new possibilities to get revenue in this type of market. None of us have been in this kind of market before, so these types of products really fit with what the demand is in the market today. The other thing we want to do is not only give peace of mind, but also with the proactive measures of putting these devices in, we're also trying to change behavioral patterns of people that come to the businesses or show up in a business or an employee situation where they're coming in for the day. We're trying to change some behaviors because of social distancing and all these measures that are put into place. A lot of companies are even rewriting policies today to fall in line with those types of situations. And I think the last thing we're going to see, aside from social acceptance of this technology, is going to be a big change in how people come to work. I think we used to be in a position where if you were sick, you would push through, come to work, you weren't feeling well. I think over the next year, or a little bit of even into maybe late next year, we're we're going to see big changes on how people adapt to that now. I think we're going to be taking more advantages of the situation of being able to stay at home, work from home, and things like that. So I think the social behaviors are going to be a lot different moving forward. And the last thing we're going to talk about again is how we use this technology for each product in its different applications. So let's start off with the thermal camera. So advantages of the thermal camera is, again, fairly simple installation, but the process of the installation being the simple part of it, I would say, the upper end of this is the fast screening times. No need for the people who are coming into these facilities to really change much of their behavior. You just walk towards the camera, facing the camera, and that's all you have to do. The software and the camera will take over and do the rest. So I think because of that, it's the most unobtrusive solution of the three that we're going to show today. Again, you can see here from the list, we've already had applications where we've installed this in some mining companies. Liquor store applications come up as well constantly right now. So these types of applications are already being done and already implemented. Here's what the camera looks like. You can see it's a dual camera. So one camera is thermal and the other is a 2.1 megapixel sensor. It's a varifocal sensor on the 2.1 megapixel non-thermal imager. Its accuracy is rated at plus or minus 0.3 degrees Celsius. And while it can detect up to 16 targets, that's probably not going to be an ideal solution. You'll probably just want to do 1-2 targets at a time and try to keep the amount of people to a slower pace where you might have 1 or 2 aisles with social distancing. And I'll show some video of that later of one of the setups we've done. And you'll also notice a very fast response of 30 milliseconds to read each person. Now, what makes this thing so accurate is the fact that we're using a black body calibrator. Now, what this is it's a heater box. So it maintains a precise temperature constantly. This box remains in the image of the camera. So the camera will see it. It'll be off to the left or to the right or above where the people are entering. And you'll set it at a fixed temperature. So for example, you could set it for 40 degrees Celsius, and the camera on the thermal side will always see a 40 degrees Celsius reference point. Using that reference point, it gives it a much higher accuracy to be able to stay within that 0.3 degrees Celsius range. And here's a quick video. I'm going to show you a video that our WatchNET Dubai team put together to help give you an idea of how this actually looks. So they did a temporary install where they actually mounted it to a tripod. And this is one of the options that we do have in our kit. You can ask for it on a tripod installation if it's not going to be a permanently mounted unit. We can do a tripod installation on the black body unit as well. And you can see here some of the staff walking in and how quickly it captures them. It's almost instant as soon as they walk in. And I've also got it here where we're triggering an alarm to show a temperature. And you can see here he's registering a 38.25 degree fever. They had the threshold set to 38, and it'll show a snapshot at the bottom of the screen of that person that was in alarm. And here's a video where you can see the black body actually in the image to the left. And that just shows you a setup of how it should be installed. The people are walking next to the calibrator, and it gives you the most accurate possible reading. Here's an actual site that actually just got completed this week. We had one of our Canadian integrators in the wonderful province of Quebec actually just finish a job for more of an outdoor application. Because these cameras cannot be mounted outside, they would need to be inside of a tent or trailer, in this case, is what they've used. They did a very clean install using a trailer at a construction site. And you can see they have their social distancing markers on the floor, maintaining proper distance. The calibrator is right at the point of where people will walk and make that turn. and then they'll walk and actually see themselves on the screen, forcing them to look a little bit upward towards the camera to get the most accurate reading. And then they just pass through and exit from the other side. They've also got a computer set up where someone will be there to monitor and to watch the employees coming in. And they also have policies in place with a secondary unit to measure temperature using an actual medical grade thermometer. So this would be the best way by far to do it. If you did register a fever or a hot body temperature, you'd have a secondary unit, some medical grade form to also be able to check. And in this case, he read a 36.6 degrees Celsius on the thermometer. And then he just walks over in front of the camera just to show you that we can stay within that 0.3 degree accuracy. You can see it fluctuates a little bit between 36.3 and 36.4, and it locked him in at 36.3 Celsius. So again, maintaining that high accuracy and high level of information right there. Here's the mounting options. So we have ceiling mount and tripod mount. These you just ask at the time of order which mount you'd prefer, and we will include that in the kit. So you're all set to go. Here's what a standard layout should look like. Normal mounting height for this type of camera is approximately 7 feet. And you'd also want to follow suit with the calibrator, either having it to the left or the right of the person coming in, or if it's above, like it was in that video, mount that also at approximately 7 feet. For outdoor installations, the trailer was the perfect type of situation, really kept down on anything like air currents that would go through there, some breeze that could throw off some of the just throw off the temperature on the person's forehead. So anything that you can do to eliminate that, either a tent or a trailer, will really help. And lastly, included in the kit, the software is included. So you're basically ready to go. It's an all-in-one package, ready to go, easy to use. And the software also has the ability to play audio alerts. So if you have it connected to a laptop, or PC with speaker, you can have it automatically say something when there's an alert. Or you could also just put on some type of little siren or buzzer directly on the camera, or a little strobe light, so that if someone was running a fever, that you could also have a visual of what's happening. Here's the complete kit, just in one slide, so you can see what's included, and all set to go. Also, we have the ability to record. So if the customer does want to record that camera, and in some applications that is definitely something that could happen, the camera's ONVIF compliant, and the temperature will be displayed on the person's forehead. So you'll have all of that information in the ONVIF stream. So if they do record that to any ONVIF compatible NVR, you're going to have that information. If they're looking for an NVR that would integrate directly with the software, I'd recommend going with the WatchNET recorder listed here. That will allow them to not only tie directly with the software to the recorder, but also allow for quick playback and quick functions for playback through the software without having to go to the NVR. Our next product category, going from the most expensive to the least expensive, this falls right in the middle. This is our facial recognition access control with temperature detection. We do sell this in 2 different models. The reason that this is becoming popular right now is anyone who has biometrics, whether it's a fingerprint reader or a hand reader, with everything going on today, a lot of people don't want to touch something where they're going to get their hands dirty or have to use sanitizer or wash their hands. So having a facial recognition reader in place would actually be something that would help to replace that, and also help to lower the risk of transmitting anything to anyone else. So again, another step to help hopefully slow the spread of COVID until we get past this whole pandemic. Now, the way that this works is we have this built in with an infrared temperature. So let me just give you a quick little pointer here so I can show you what we're doing. So right here you have your 3D face cameras. You got 2 of them. So you're getting a solid 3D face scan very accurate, very fast, and also very secure. You can't just fool this unit by holding up the photo of someone to get into the door. Second to that, right above it, you have the thermal part of it. So this is where it's going to read your temperature. So even if your credential is valid, if you're allowed to go into the building, but you're running warm or you have a fever, your access will be denied to the building. Now, part of the reason you'd want to deny access is a couple. One is safety of the employees. The other is you'd want to deny access, and many times if someone is infected, it could involve a large cleanup or disinfecting of an area, which can cost thousands of dollars in today's market right now. So being able to not allow a person who is sick to come in is actually going to be something that's a great thing to have in place. We also do sell this model without the thermal option. Down the road, if that ends up being something that's more practical, then we also have that available as well. Here's the quick specs on the unit. This router is completely supported with weekend output, 26-bit or 34-bit. So this will work on a WatchNet access control. It'll work on any other brand, Cantech, any of the other brands on the market today that'll support weekend output. And it can hold up to 10,000 unique faces. So tons of storage built in. And it's also very stylish. It's one of the nicest looking readers in the marketplace today. It's all made out of aluminum, and it looks very elegant, especially when it's mounted to a turnstile like you see in this image, or wall mounted on that little angle. It's just really elegant. It looks really good, should fit in with many decors. And here's a quick video showing it in action. Again, our Dubai team, they get bigger projects for this type of thing. So they've done some great projects and shared a nice video clip here for you guys to all see. And you'll notice that the unit lights up. So as soon as you stand in front of the unit, you get a white LED to help illuminate the face to get better pictures, just in case it's a dim lit area, low lighting, it'll still capture a clean shot of the face. And you can see how rapid that's actually picking up the person as they walk in front of it. And it's nice because you have a visual display to show you that, yep, everything's good, I've lined up properly, and I'm okay. And it does that in about 1/3 of a second to about 1/2 a second. The last product we have is our portable and rapid deployment. This is more of a door station type of temperature solution. We're seeing all kinds of budgets in the market today. So one of the units that we really wanted to try to bring into the market was something that would fit the need for the many, not just a few, but also the many. This could go into really almost any place. This could be a restaurant. This could be a small little Subway, a small little pizzeria, something where they just want to make sure that people that are coming into the businesses or coming into the locations don't have a fever, and they want to just add that extra step into the process to build some safety around them. Here's what it looks like. I'll give you a quick little snapshot of around the unit. The unit itself has a built-in voice and LED. Let's show you a quick little snapshot of what it does here. So here's the exterior part of the housing. All the different displays, the sensors that are on the front of the unit. Very simple to use. I'll show you a video clip in a second here of it actually being used. Celsius, Fahrenheit switch. Of course, all the other thermal solutions can also do Fahrenheit as well, not just Celsius. Volume adjustment, and a warning reset if it does happen to go into alarm. So your loudspeaker, your 5-volt power supply, or it can be powered with a USB connection. So if you have one of those lithium-ion packs, you can actually power this and put it anywhere. You don't have to rely on having a plug in a wall somewhere to actually plug in a power supply. It makes it super convenient to be able to power these up and really place them anywhere. Here's a side-by-side video showing just the difference in speed between having someone measure with a hand unit or someone just walking up and getting read for their temperature. And you can see it's the left versus the right here. I don't know why it's ladies versus men. I'm not sure. I thought that was kind of funny when I first seen the video. But simple, fast, precise, and it gets the job done without having to have face-to-face with someone else and potentially infecting the person who's actually trying to do temperature readings. That is the 3 new solutions that we're implementing into the market today. If you've got questions, here's my credentials. Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have after this. And yeah, this has been an interesting time, and some interesting solutions are coming to market, and we're really excited to promote this stuff right now. And yeah, we thank Steve and the rest of the Canassa team over there for letting us show you this today.
Thank you, Sean. That was great. If anyone has any questions, please type them into your Q&A window at the bottom of your screen now, and Sean will address them. And I see we're up to 21 questions. We'll do
There's some great questions there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me scroll to the bottom and just kind of look at those first really quick here. We got a question from Jody. Jody, if you need to see this at a later point, I know not everybody could jump onto the webinar right away today. So if there is a need, or you do have a situation where you want to do something one-on-one later, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to work something out where we can get you or other staff that couldn't make it today to also get involved. What else do we have here? OnVIF camera connected to NVR. Yes, Daniel asked if you could have the camera, if it was OnVIF, connected to an OnVIF NVR, as well as access control integration. Yes, you could integrate that as well with the WatchNET access, because our software does support that. So you could pull in that information directly in. I think I answered the Fahrenheit question. What else do we have here? Some great questions, by the way. One person asked, why Cantech? It does not have to be Cantech. It can be any brand supporting WeGAN 26-bit. Yes, working with masks, that's a great question. So the thermal camera, as well as the access control, as well, actually all 3 of them, because they're aiming for the forehead. So they're trying to get the temperature up in the forehead region. Even wearing a mask, it will do that quite well. No problem there. For pricing, again, reach out to me. Be more than happy to do that. What else do we have here? Some really good questions. I wish I would have thought of some of these. I'm going to answer the last one I got was actually a really good one. The distance between the target and the camera. You're looking at a 2 to 3 meter distance. So you don't want to be too far away. Hopefully on one of the slides that you've seen there, it actually showed the distance. I was hoping to cover most of the questions in there. And Stephen asked, how long does someone have to be indoors before getting an accurate reading? This is definitely by far some of the biggest concerns that are around thermal right now. If you're outside in a colder environment, or if you're outside in a really hot sunny day, that does affect surface temperature on a human, for sure. I wouldn't claim it doesn't. So what ends up happening, and what we've noticed, even when we did that Dubai video, someone had to raise their temperature either with a hairdryer or something for it to trigger an alarm for that video. What we've noticed is even by doing that, the human body is adjusting that temperature back down or up once you get into an environment that's at a consistent temperature. The human body is adapting fairly quickly. So if you can have someone standing in a room for 30 seconds to a minute in regular condition, their body is pretty much going to be at the right temperature that it should be for the reading. If it's an extremely cold day, people are outside walking into a warmer environment, they may want to take some time where they have staff kind of not pooled together, because you still have to maintain social distancing, but have them come into that warmer section and allow for a few minutes if possible. Every company is going to have to set this up differently to get the most accurate reading possible. there's no ideal one way to do it because everybody is in a different situation. Some places have vestibules, some don't. Some might even set up some kind of exterior tenting with heating in it to help make the process better. So Stephen, it's a great question, and it is something that absolutely has to be considered when you're looking at any of these options, because the environment will definitely affect the reading. Anything else? I don't see any more updating here. Let me see. Oh, okay. I scrolled down. I was going the wrong direction. Oh, hey, look at that. I've got the question already. Stock availability. So for the thermal camera, we have stock right now, and we also have our next delivery of stock actually arrives mid next week, and then we have a second delivery after that, following week after that. So the thermal cameras we have on a constant roll right now. Everything that's coming in seems to be going out, so we've doubled our inventory ask on all of the production right now to get more units. On the thermal access control, more inventory arrives next week on that as well. And on that new door station unit, that stock arrives in approximately 2 weeks, which puts us right in line with the proposed Ontario reopening. So hopefully that'll all fall into place. Unfortunately, no demo. Because of the cost of these items, one of the gentlemen here, Scott, was asking if there's a demo that can be used for customers. We are going to have demo units at our office in Markham, as well as in our US office, that we can demo either remotely through this type of thing, or through some other form of webinar or Skype or something like that. We're also going to be creating some new video content. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough units on hand to do any content here in North America, because as soon as they arrived, I had to ship them. So that's part of the reason I had to use all of the Dubai footage and overseas footage. When it comes to pricing and MSRP, just reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you have an understanding where you are on that. And I think that's it, Steve. I think I hit on most of these questions. Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Sean.
Great questions.
Maybe if you want to give everybody your email address, if they have questions after the fact, that'd be great. They can reach out to you.
Yep. Can you still see that last slide?
Yes.
Yep. So on the last slide that's on the screen right now, you can reach out to me at Shawn, SHAWN, at WatchNetInc.com, WatchNetInc.com, and I've also got my cell number posted there. Maybe my cell phone will go crazy after this, but it's the only way to communicate into the market. So you can reach me at 416-832-4709 as well, and be more than happy to answer anybody's questions, and yeah, get this on the road and get it rolling.
Great. Thank you, Sean. Perfect timing.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And once again, thank you to Sean German and WatchNet for their support. At the close of this session, a link to register for next week's session will be available, along with a short survey so you can tell us how we're doing. Until then, we look forward to seeing you next week. Be well.